Welcome to Think Tank Television. My name is Erin Johnson. I'm your host. Thank you for being here. And today we're going to have a discussion about how the coronavirus is affecting the schools. And I'm happy to welcome our guest, Kathleen Evans here, who is a fellow member of the Think Tank and a teacher. So thank you very much for being here, Kathleen.
Thanks for having me, Erin.
Okay. Well, first, I just want to ask, what was the end of last year like at the schools?
Well, it was certainly different than anything any of us expected it to be, right? At the end of the year, things are hectic and we're planning for graduation. And I think the seniors above all know, but the teachers do too, just how kind of crazy it was. But it was a lot of transitioning lesson plans into something that we can do digitally. It was a lot of engagement in making sure that kids were okay. It's easy to check when you're in a classroom and see how kids are doing and assess what their needs are. And it was definitely trickier online. So a couple challenges.
Okay, so how many ways did COVID affect the school year, like about sports and graduation and all those things? How did it affect the way the school year ended?
Everything. I mean, everything was different than we thought it was going to be. Sports were canceled. Graduations were held in different ways. I know Whitman Hanson's is coming up. They did it. They're doing it in person, social distance. So all the towns kind of grappled with graduation differently. I don't know, classrooms. I usually do these end of the year awards, and I did it digitally, and I had 25 kids instead of my 100. So everything was different.
Okay, I'm kind of getting ahead of us, but how long do you think we can go on this way? What plans do you think make sense for the fall?
I mean, so I'm very biased because I have my one perspective as a teacher, but I think the answer to how long can we go on is how long is it safe to do so, right? There are people a lot smarter than I am who are tracking the health risks and what is good for students and what is good for teachers and what's good for parents. And I think it goes on as long as it has to, and we adapt, you know?
Do you think based on, I mean, I've heard a few of the things that they're hoping to do. I don't know. Do you think some of the things they're hoping to do, like requiring kids to wear masks, is going to work out, masks?
So I'm coming at it from a secondary perspective. I teach high school students.
Okay.
But I do think that wearing a mask is reasonable for secondary kids. They're not going to like it as much as I'm not going to like it. But I don't think that it's going to be as much of a challenge at my level as it will at the younger grades, where it can be very hard if you already have a classroom full of kids to also make sure that they have their masks out. But yeah, I mean, I think there's basically three things that people have been grappling with. It's full remote, a mixed hybrid model of in and out, and then fully going back to school. And it all depends on what's feasible. Everyone's buildings look different, and so what's possible for one school is not going to be possible for another. And luckily, everything that I have heard from any administration, I was listening to Whitman Hanson School Committee the other day. I've been getting emails from my district, and everyone is thinking of the kids. And I think that that's the best.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Do you think, maybe I just said this, do you think they'll be safe enough to open? I mean, do you feel confident to go back now with the protocols they have in place, or they plan to have in place?
I don't know. I struggle a little bit. I trust the people in charge to keep me safe. And so if we go back to school, I know that people have thought about it. I don't think that anyone's taking the situation lightly. But I am 28 and I'm not in a risky age group. I don't have any pre-existing conditions. And so I can understand why other people would be more nervous, whereas I'm a little bit more trusting.
Okay. So far, what has online teaching been like? Do you think it has potential for the future?
Oh my gosh. Well, so you have to understand that back in March, we found out 15 minutes before we left the building that it would be 2 weeks until we got back. And then slowly and surely that became the rest of the year. And so there wasn't a lot of prep as far as remote learning, but I know a lot of districts have been offering professional development opportunities for the last 5 months to kind of get people ready. And it's different. It's different. The kids that want to show up will show up. The kids with parents that will make them show up will show up. But I think I'm not alone in worrying about the opportunity gap that arises with remote learning. If you can't have people physically in a classroom, and you can't control the conditions in which they're learning, it comes with its own set of struggles.
Okay. So what do you need? Maybe it'll change in the fall, but if you continue to do some remote learning in the fall, what do you need from parents? How will their lives change if hybrid learning or remote learning becomes part of school?
I think that we need the same things from each other, teachers and parents. They always talk about, in all the education classes, they'll talk about the educational triangle, right? So you've got students and teachers and parents. And we all just need patience. And I think we all just need to keep each other and the students in what we do. And it's not going to be easy for anybody. So from parents, I think teachers need understanding and empathy. And I think they need the same from us. I mean, I don't have any children right now, and I can't even imagine what it would be like to be working and trying to make sure that your kids learn. Like, an elementary school teacher is responsible for making a child, like helping a child learn to read. So I can't imagine a parent who's already trying to support a family financially now having the responsibility of these like really critical educational steps. It's nuts. And so I think we all just need to try to understand that this is new. And so every time we hit a point of frustration, to think about how everybody else is feeling, because, I don't know. I think understanding and patience is going to be the most important thing as we go forward.
And I mentioned a hybrid approach too. Do you think it would be beneficial to families? I mean, if in the fall it comes to this, to have a shorter day maybe at school and then do the rest at home. I'm wondering if that would allow parents to work and help their kids learn more. I don't know.
So I think it comes, again, I'm so sorry because I feel like every single one of my answers is like, well, yes, but.
No, it's great. You're really, really helping us with it.
This whole thing is a jigsaw puzzle. And so I know that most districts have a planning committee that tries to put all of these puzzle pieces together. But say it's a half day. That requires parents to get their kids off the bus if they're not old enough to be home alone. And so parents' work days have all of a sudden changed. If you go part-time, say you go the first half of the week and then you don't go the rest of the week, the parents can keep their full day work schedules, but then all of a sudden there's 2 days of childcare that you have to pay for, or there's like remote learning for half of it. And so teachers are kind of prepping in 2 different ways. I don't know. I think each has its own challenges. There have been talks of like, how are we going to do transportation? Those little buses, you cram students onto those little buses. I've been on them for field trips, and luckily teachers usually get their own seat, but the kids are high school age going 2 and 3 a seat sometimes. And so everything about getting to school will change, and everything about what seating charts look like when you're there will change. So I don't know, a half day could work, but everything comes with the but.
Yeah, okay. What about, this is way down the road, but do you ever see a day where teachers can teach outside their district and students can go to school outside their districts via remote learning?
I mean, it's a possibility. It's actually, I mean, I don't want to pull at straws because it's not something that I've thought of before. I mean, there are already things like school choice, where if there's a program that's not offered at a school, if the school has chosen to be in that program, kids can opt into it. And so things like that already exist on some level. So probably with remote, it's possible. Absolutely. But then you also have to think of, okay, you have a teacher, and sure, like maybe 150 students can watch this video and take this course. But then as a teacher, I'm thinking, can I grade 150 kids?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So the assessment piece there would be tricky, but something I haven't thought of before.
Yeah. So do you see, like for this fall, do you think, I mean, I don't know, the colleges are kind of, some of them are going back. Some of them have decided, no, they're going to do everything remotely. And some of them are going back. So I guess my point is, I already asked you, but,
Sure.
Oh, I had another one, I know. Do you, okay, so you're using online platforms now. So you're using Zoom? Is that what you're using for an online platform?
No. So my district, we started out with Zoom, and then because of all of the risks and kind of complications of Zoom, we switched to Google Meet.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because I know like colleges use Canvas and Blackboard, and I didn't know if that kind of format would make your jobs easier or more complicated, because it's, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of stuff, you put a lot of stuff there and then people can use it as opposed to you teach live. You know, I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a difference between platforms like Google Meets and Zoom, and then things like Canvas and Blackboard. Google Meets and Zoom are almost specifically for face-to-face interactions, right? I can record a lesson and I can post it on something like Blackboard or Canvas, because those are places where the work is assigned, work is collected, work is graded. You can have discussions, but they're all, as far as I know, most of it is written, right? So a discussion board would take place on Blackboard or on Canvas.
Yeah.
Whereas this is face-to-face interaction. So I think a combination of both is pretty necessary if you're going to do remote learning. I want to be able to see my students' faces. I want to be able to gauge their reactions. And I want them to know what kind of emotion I'm putting into my subject as well. But for an assessment piece, something like Google Classroom or Canvas or Blackboard is really good, because they can just send me their stuff. I can edit it and send it back, and we never have to be in the same room.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about this fall? What we might be able to expect this fall?
Oh no, that's way above my pay grade. but I don't know. I think, like you said, I know as a teacher, I think I refresh all of my little like educator Facebook pages and my school email once or twice or 3 times a day, just seeing if there's any more news. And I know that parents are doing the same. And I think we all just have to know that, at least for me, I really do believe everyone's putting the students first. And so whatever happens in the fall, whether it is fully in the classrooms or if it is remote or if it's a hybrid model, everyone's doing what's best for the kids. And in Massachusetts, we have unions that are going to keep us safe, which is something that I'm really thankful for. Yeah, I mean, like, if we have the best of both worlds. We have these really caring administrations that are going to do everything to make sure kids are cared for, teachers are cared for, and then we're supported by unions that are looking out for our safety. So I'm nothing but hopeful that the fall will work out.
Oh, thank you so much. That was very positive. Nice news to hear. So I don't know. I think we're about done. Do you want to keep talking or?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, you had asked a little bit earlier about some of the hiccups with Zoom and with Google Meets when we first started. But luckily, I think most of those have been fleshed out. The only thing that is so frustrating is when students don't turn on their cameras, because then I'm just talking to blank tiles everywhere.
Yeah.
So apart from my positive message, I would ask parents that if we're remote to have kids in their cameras on.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here, Kathleen.
Thanks for having me. This was a blast.
It's been great. I mean, yeah, it's really fun. And good luck with everything this fall. And stay healthy. And we'll see you later.
Thank
you. Thank you to everybody in Whitman and Hanson for watching today. I'll see you at another time. Thank you.